Great day. Welcome to Equus Workforce Solutions training video series. This class is effective anger management tips and techniques. My name is Rich Williams. I'm the business consultant for Equus Workforce Solutions in the Gaithersburg office, and I'm also the career instructor. It's my pleasure to share this video with you. So, effective anger management tips and techniques. It's really about practical strategies for controlling and reducing anger. And so we'll go through some strategies and we'll give some tips and share techniques, hopefully that you find beneficial and that when you have moments where you feel that anger creeping in, you should be in a position to at least act on some of the strategies and the tips that we're sharing. So understand that anger and its impact on our lives. And so the objectives of this webinar is to walk us through that process. A lot of times in the job market, you will hear individuals say in the workplace that so and so made me angry. Or maybe at home or in other environments, you'll hear a person say that that individual, they made me angry. Think about that. Another person caused me to be angry. And so we're going to unpack some tips today on how do you navigate that when you feel anger coming and how to understand anger. So anger is a natural human emotion, right? And it arises in response to what the brain perceives as a threat, a frustration, or an injustice. While it can serve as a motivator for change, unmanaged anger often leads to negative consequences such as strained relationships, poor decision making, and health issues like increased blood pressure and stress. Here's a note that when emotion goes up, intelligent decision making goes down. Remember that. Understanding anger involves recognizing its triggers, psychological responses, and behavioral patterns. By us acknowledging the anger, it's not inherently bad, but it needs to be controlled. Individuals can begin to develop strategies to manage it effectively. This is where this awareness is the foundation for adopting techniques that promote emotional regulation and constructive responses rather than impulsive reaction. And that's exactly what I meant when I said when emotion go up, intelligent decision making go down. The more emotional and or some people use the word I'm just a passionate individual. I understand passion. Passion is good. However, when that passion leads to strong emotional outburst, verbal abusive language and or physical language, and that passion has crossed the line. And so again, our goal is to share some strategies that help manage anger because anger is a normal emotion. It's when we don't control or manage that emotion is where it could potentially lead to challenges. The primary goal of this webinar is to equip individuals with practical tools and techniques to manage anger in healthy ways. We'll explore breathing exercises, timeout strategies, and digital resources such as mobile apps that help support emotional regulation. Additionally, individuals will learn how to integrate these methods into daily routines to reduce stress and improvement. Let me just highlight this thought that anytime we get education on something, it requires for us to apply that education. Because, friend, this is true, and I'm sure you can relate that education without application is worse than having no education at all. So let's look at some benefits of anger management. Because again, anger is a natural human emotion. It's how we manage that anger that makes the difference. Effective anger management offers numerous benefits, including improved mental health, stronger relationships, and enhanced problem solving abilities. When individuals learn to control their anger, they experience reduced stress, which positively impacts physical health by lowering risks associated with hypertension, that's high blood pressure, and heart disease. Professionally, managing anger can lead to better teamwork and communication, as emotional outbursts often hinder collaboration. On a personal level, it fosters empathy and patience, creating a more supportive environment for family and friends. These benefits underscore the importance of adopting anger management techniques as part of a holistic approach to our well being. So, here is one technique that you can take into consideration, and that's deep breathing and mindfulness. Breathing exercise are among the most effective tools for calming the psychological responses associated with anger, right? You can practice deep breathing really anytime. You don't have to wait for an emotional situation to happen. You can practice the deep breathing exercise at any time. One of the things that I do encourage our customers to do is to count backwards. You, you know, Count backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, etc. That's that's one way of managing that anger. Or another friend of mine gave me this advice. He said, "Hey, Rich, before you say what you feel or are currently thinking, I want you to go to the end of that and just pause. Pause." I mentioned effective techniques or timeouts, and that's the power of pausing. Taking a timeout is practical strategy for preventing anger and from escalating into harmful behavior. A timeout. Now, okay, when you hear timeout, some of us go to childhood memories, or maybe you've seen where they placed a child in timeout and he or she had to sit at the end of the room and just think about their action. But it's still true as an adult. I have to temporarily remove myself from a triggering situation so that I can get my composure. So this can be as simple as stepping outside for fresh air, engaging in a calming activity like listening to music or practicing a short meditation. The key is to recognize the signs of rising anger, such as increased heart rate and or tension, right? So you want to be in a position where you want to exercise one of these techniques before you reach that breaking point. And by incorporating timeouts into daily life, individuals can interrupt negative cycles and respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Leveraging technology that will help us with our emotional regulation. Mobile apps can offer convenient tools for managing anger and stress. Applications like Calm is one, Headspace, or Breathe to Relax app provide guided breathing exercises, mindfulness practices, and stress reduction techniques. These apps often include customizable reminders, progress tracking, and educational content to support consistent practice. Additionally, journaling apps can help as well. Journaling apps can help you identify your anger triggers and patterns over time, fostering self awareness and proactive management. By integrating these digital resources into daily routines, individuals can access support anytime, anywhere, making anger management more accessible and sustainable. Now, let me also add this. Even though during this webinar we are sharing strategy, tips, and techniques that you can use to help manage anger, these tips, techniques, and tools, they never replace the benefit of seeing a professional. Seeing a therapist is healthy. We can remove the myth of seeing a therapist because a therapist isn't just for people that we perceive are they have mental challenges, etc. No, therapists are helpful. They can help us navigate. They can help provide sustainable tools and techniques to so that we can reduce and or manage the triggers, the anger, and ultimately, hopefully, find the root cause for the way that we feel is important. So here are some cognitive and or behavior strategies. Beyond breathing and timeouts, cognitive behavior techniques play a crucial role in anger management. These strategies involve identifying and challenging irrational thoughts. That's the cognitive piece that fuel anger, replacing them with balanced perspectives. For example, reframing a frustrating situation as an opportunity for growth can reduce emotional intensity. One mindset that I have is we don't lose, we get a lesson. We learn a lesson. Don't lose in life. We learn lessons. If I didn't get the job, it doesn't mean I'm necessarily not qualified. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm broken or there's something missing in me. I can say, you know what? This opportunity wasn't for me. What's for me is for me. That's a cognitive strategy. Now, behavior approaches include practicing assertive communication to express needs calmly and setting boundaries to prevent recurring conflicts. Combining these methods with relaxation techniques creates a comprehensive toolkit for managing anger effectively in diverse contexts. So we already do a form of this with our children. You know, sometimes children are upset and they're crying and maybe they're feeling hysterical. They're hysterically crying and you're trying to communicate what's wrong and they're you know how sometimes kids are hysterically crying and we have to, as a parent, we have to tell them, okay, stop crying. Or we have to tell them, calm down, use your words, tell me how you are feeling. Same technique works for us. That's cognitive restructuring, challenging that thought, challenging that situation, and then switch the perspective of that situation. Practical tips for everyday life. Number one, consistency is key to successful anger management. Start by incorporating short breathing exercises into your morning routine and scheduling regular mindfulness breaks throughout the day. Check in with yourself emotionally. Use calendar reminders or app notifications to prompt these practices. Additionally, maintain a journal that track triggers and progress, which can help identify patterns and areas for improvement. Establishing these habits gradually ensures they become second nature, enabling individuals to respond calmly and constructively to challenges over time. So let's wrap it all up. So, what did we discuss today? Effective anger management involves a combination of awareness, practical techniques, and consistent practice. What type of practice? Consistent practice. Breathing exercises, timeouts, mobile apps, and cognitive strategies provide a robust framework for managing anger constructively. And individuals are encouraged to apply these methods in daily life, seeking additional resources from us here at Equus Workforce Solutions. Share your experiences to foster a supportive community by taking proactive steps. Individuals can transform anger from a destructive force into a catalyst that will provide positive change. I hope you found value in today's training video. Please make sure to do the brief questions to take the short quiz at the end of this video.